going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets. We're checking back in. We got week 16 on the dot. NFL live stream coming at you guys here on another beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. It's cold here. I'm sure it's cold where everybody's at. I appreciate you guys tuning in once again. We have another great show ahead. Last week, I think we split 3-4, 3-3. Just a shade under a unit lost, but we'll get that back. We've had a nice little stretch run of here, 4 or 5 straight profitable shows before then. So had a lot of comments last week. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Looks like we have a ton more today. I will get to all of your questions and concerns. Before, I want to shout out Occupy Fantasy. Powered by them. Make sure you guys go check out Brian and all those guys over at Occupy Fantasy. They just had a member go for $200K on the NHL slate for DFS. I think it was a couple days ago. Shout out to Matt, probably the sharpest NHL DFS player in the game. He is absolutely killing it. Yeah, he won $200K. $200K, huge W there. Brian, shout out to him. Last night won about $20K on the 2-game slate or showdown slate. So yeah, tune into these guys, lock into them. They have the best DFS content out there. I will use the AccuProp radar today, as if you've tuned in all season long. See how easy of the feature it is. It's a free feature on their website. So we'll get after it with that today. All right. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. I think we're well on our way to about 200 subscribers. So when I first started this, I would have been okay with just 5. So, basically having 200 is pretty crazy. And you guys come in here for about 30 minutes every Sunday, listening to me, talk and babble. And hopefully I made you guys some money throughout the season. So appreciate you guys tuning in once again. If it is your first time here, we will go over kind of the show format. I'll give a spread play that I like, and then I will go. I used to go a total. I've nixed that. We're going to go with another same game parlay that have been hitting at a very high rate. Another teaser as well. And then I got 3 player props along with my anytime pick to click touchdown of the week. I'm over my last 3 in that. So it's time to change that. And I think I got a pretty good winner here today on that front. Plus, we did hit I think it was like plus 3,300 anytime touchdown parlay last week in the Discord. So make sure you guys hit the link below. Get your butt in the Discord. Panda Cats has been absolutely killing it. Kentown absolutely destroyed the parlay last night for the Suns game. So a lot of winners in the Discord. All right, man. We got a ton of comments. We'll get to them. Do living here. What's up, buddy? We got David Lee. Let's win today. We got Christian Michael. Dot. Let's get this money. It is time to go. Steph D. Let's get another one this week. Sean. Let's eat today. Elaine. We are so due. Yes. Yesterday was, man, I don't know if you're in the Discord, Elaine, but yeah, yesterday really made me mad. So we are going to get after it today with some big time winners here. All right, we'll get to these questions here as the show goes on. Let's get after it. Let's get to our first spread of the day. We're going to go ugly. We're going to go ugly first. Might as well get it out of the way. But I was looking at all of these different matchups this week, and man, I really wanted to take the Rams. The Rams are just in such a good trap spot, but then I couldn't take the Jets because the Jets just have burned everybody. The first half last week for the Jets was just horrific, and then all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers wants to turn it back 10 years and throw for 200 yards to Devontae Adams in the second half. So just a strange dynamic there. I leaned the Rams, and that was going to be my play. I like the Bengals again, but that shot up to like 9.5. So I have them in a different format here. But we're going to go to the late game, or not the late game, but the late slate, the 3 p.m. And we're going to go with the almighty. So it's ugly. I get it. But you got the Raiders, Jaguars there. I'm going to go here. Main main factor is that AOC is back. If it was Desmond Ridder, I would never, ever have played this. But this line has grown. It started at 1.5. Now it's 2.5. So you're still getting with under that key number 3. And I think the Raiders should get it done today. The matchup against this Jaguars defense, you're going to be able to expose them with Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. You have pieces, Tucker. And then I would love to see McCormick in here, but you have Madison and Abdullah. Madison will be Madison. He's just probably the most inefficient running back in the league. But Abdullah should be able to get there on third downs, passing downs. But the main factor here is that AOC is back, and I'm going to fade Mac Jones at all times. And I just do not like. Don't think he's that great of a quarterback. So going with a better defense. I know Max Crosby is out for the Raiders. Still think that we can get pressure home on Mac Jones. It's an ugly play, but I think it's the right side. Not a lot of people want to click on this game, but sometimes you got to. Sometimes you see some value in the ugly ones, especially late in the season. So apologize if you guys want to throw up for this first one, but I promise there's more to come that you guys might like. All right, let's get a question in here. Joe Cool, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing passing for 3 touchdowns. Only concern here is that if Chase Brown obviously takes a couple off the ground there, but I think 2+ is more safe. But Joe Burrow has been unbelievable this year. Said it last week. 2 touchdowns was a no-brainer. I'm gonna have T. Higgins in a couple. Probably Chase in one another anytime touchdown. But yeah, I'm all for. And Chase Brown can catch some like he did last week. So Burrow 3 touchdowns is fine. 2 be a little bit more safe. Oh no, Steph missed out last week, but I got you again this week. I got you. For the Sebastian, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you tuning in again. We got the Mike Evans overs. So that one, this is for the night game, and that one I'm actually gonna. I still haven't dove into it fully, but the Cowboys have been pretty good against the wide receiver 1 position. So I might lean more to Jalen McMillan on that front. But I'll get back to you on this one. But I would lean right now to some of his unders. Harrison, what's up? Appreciate you tuning in. You're knock them out. We are ready to roll. Ready to roll. What's up? We are gonna hear what we got. What's the best 3 to get a touchdown today from Sean? I will give you the one at the end, and then I'll have plenty more in the Discord. So make sure you're in the Discord. I got you for plenty of touchdown scores today. All right, let's get after it. So we got another same game parlay. Last week we had Josh Allen 25+, and then Anthony Richardson over first quarter rushing yards. That slapped. I mean, Josh Allen, that was a given. I think he had 60 or 70, and then I think what we have, I think Richardson had like 15 in the first quarter. That's been free money. Right? So someone in the chat, let me know what his first quarter rushing yards is. I might just take that again, straight up. But we're going to go to an ugly Chicago Bears offense, and we are going to assume, pretty much know that they are going to be behind. They've been behind like every first half for the last, 7 to 8 games. But we are going to go to basically up against a defense that is decimated with injuries. And I know that they've been playing still high-powered defense there. Sedarius Smith has come back live for the Lions. But I think it's a good spot here against a beat-up defense with Caleb Williams playing better than most people, than what it seems like. The stats don't, or the eye test doesn't always match the stats. He hasn't thrown an interception in his last 7 or 8 games. So, but watching him, you're just like, wow, he has to be just throwing pick after pick after pick. But he's been doing a better job. So DJ Moore, I was going to go DJ Moore 5 receptions and then Allen 40 receiving yards. You can definitely go that route. this Lions defense gives up a ton of yards after catch. So that's kind of why I like DJ Moore's receiving yards. They're going to get that pop out screen. He can take it for 8 to 10 yards, just kind of an extension of the run game there. So like DJ Moore, 40 plus. Keenan Allen's probably been the best, I would say the most consistent receiver for Caleb Williams. He loves just get into the open spot in the zone or man coverage. He's totally fine regardless. So you could, if you wanted to sprinkle in Rome Odunze for maybe 25 plus and go a little bit higher, I'm okay with that. I think this is a good matchup here with the Lions. 40 plus for both of them. 1 plus 105 on FanDuel. Yes, sir. He says I'm in there. I got you. I'll put him in there, bud. I got you. And then he Sharp Bros is the best. Yeah, we have three solid plus members throw tons of. So you're not only but you also have a ton of that you can from a bunch of members. Sebastian is my man. I've had such a hard time every time I see Penix just to not make a joke, and it's just every time. Maybe I'm just immature, but man, every time I have to resist. Over 7.5 rushing yards, the best player prop you've seen on this slate. Tough to know. Just tough to know with not seeing. I don't know how much he's ran in the preseason. It's just not a spot that I've looked at too much, and I don't know if he's gonna have to do anything today. They play. He's got a kick matchup against this Giants, which we're gonna get here with one of our plays. But I just don't see Penix maybe having to do much with his feet or with his arm. They might just dump it off and run the ball with two pretty good running backs. So I have no stance here. I probably lean on just staying away from it. Brandon, what's up, buddy? Josh Downs or Keyshawn Booty in the flex spot? We're going to go upside there. I'm going to go Josh Downs. We're definitely going to go Josh Downs there. No questions asked there. And funny story. One of the questions asked last week was Brian Thomas over, I think, Adam Thielen. And just so happened to be the father-in-law who asked. Did not go well. I gave him Adam Thielen, and Brian Thomas went off. So it was not a good advice there. But and then it was a matchup in the semifinal for the fantasy playoffs. So apologize out there, Mike. But yeah, we gave him the wrong advice there. But I would have never probably thought Brian Thomas would have went ballistic like that last week over Thielen, who we were on, had still a great game. I think he had 10 to 15 fantasy points, but man, Brian Thomas went off 32. Yeah, and if you guys do have, I know this is fantasy semifinals, so yeah, if you do have any more questions on those, throw them in chat, and we'll go from there. All right, we got our spread play, we got our same game parlay. Let's go to the teaser, okay? And I think last week the Colts just absolutely murdered us on that because that game still blows my mind that they lost that game. With Taylor missing the touchdown, just releasing the ball too early, and then it was back-to-back pick sixes or whatever it was from Richardson. There's just horrific gameplay, especially when you're up 13-0. I just could not believe they lost that game. Plus, we had plus 10.5. It's just an insane way to lose. But we're gonna go back to it. We got the Bengals -2.5, Falcons -2.5, and then we're going to tease the Seahawks game up to 10. I saw another angle you could have went. If you don't like the Seahawks, you could go with the Commanders. I just feel like that Eagles team has the ability to blow people out, control the game. But so I went a little bit more conservative here with the Seahawks in a must-win game at home. A little bit more wet conditions there. I just think the Seahawks team can keep pace with this Vikings team, especially at home. The 12th man involved. You got just tease them up. Think it's a good matchup. Plus, you got a low total game. Points are at a premium. Kenneth Walker's back. Hawks can keep. And then the Bengals and the Falcons, probably the two or three highest spreads games. Bengals should be able to control the game. DTR is not that great of a quarterback. The Browns are basically packing it in. The Bengals are just going to continue to show out no matter what. That they've just been doing that all season long. And good thing for their defense is that they get to go up against DTR. And then Falcons, Giants, the Giants, I just don't think have a chance today against this Falcons team who can control the ball, control the game on the ground. Looks like that's what they'll be doing. So Bengals, Falcons, Seahawks over on DK took this for the 7-point teaser. All righty, we got another question here. Panther, oh man, yeah, him and Kelsey. I feel like I've bet all year long. I have Trey McBride in fantasy, and I'm like, man, he puts up 10 to 15 points a week, and the guy doesn't score a touchdown. Yes, I will be on him. So same with the whole industry, unfortunately. So I will have him in one or two of my anytime touchdown parlays. It's just insane that he hasn't scored a touchdown all year long, and now his odds are like plus 120. So that's what makes me mad, because there's just not much value on it. But the matchup screams at it. Like, this guy should be, without scoring a touchdown all year long, he should probably be in the plus 160s to the plus 200 range with this. But the matchup's great. He's getting red zone targeted the most on this team. It's like he's due. But then the fact that he's due, James Conner's just going to run for 3 touchdowns because it's a great matchup for him on the ground. So you just have all these factors going against Trey McBride, and one of the greatest tight ends in the league. Him and Laporta are probably the best, or Bowers. So the game has great young tight ends. However, just how it's gone this year with Trey McBride in the end zone, I'm okay with taking him today. It's just you're not going to even get a discount on him, or you're not even going to get a pretty good value. But the matchup screams it. So he's going to be in one of mine, but I could definitely see him failing once again, like he always does. All right, let's get to our first prop of the week. And as always, I'll be using that OccuProp radar over on OccupyFantasy.com. So make sure you guys check that one out. We're going to go to that Commanders-Eagles game. And I want to say this is low-hanging fruit. And this is actually, I thought, was going to increase as the week went on, but it's actually gone down in the opposite way. And I'm here for it. And I don't know. But if you've watched anything of the Commanders play this year, obviously this guy's been a pivotal force there. But Jaden Daniels over 7.5 rushes. He's hit this in 2 straight, 4 of his last 7 games as well. He's averaged 8.5 on the season, and he had that little lull through the rib injury. He's fully healthy. This Eagles team can get a ton of pressure up front too. He's going to have to extend drives with his legs, and if they're going to be in it, he's got to be a factor both through the air and on the ground. I feel like it's low-hanging fruit, but I'm going to take it here with over 7.5 rush attempts. Maybe the Commanders surprise everybody and dominate this game, and then we get some kneel downs at the end. I would highly doubt that, but I think overall in general, you're going to see more design runs. You got Brian Robinson behind him, who has been better this year. He still tends to miss holes, especially now against this Eagles defense. You're going to see these run, play action, or run pass option plays with Jaden Daniels. He's going to take it a little bit more here. I could see him getting 10 plus this afternoon for sure. So let's bring you guys to the OccuProp radar, and we have over on OccupyFantasy.com. Make sure you just go to the betting tab here, scroll over to the OccuProp radar, and we're going to go down to where is he at? Total rushing attempts. All right, so you got FanDuel. He's at minus 128. He's as heavy as minus 148 over on Caesars, but we're going to take the less juice play here at BetMGM minus 110. Make sure you guys get all the deposit bonuses you guys have. Occupy has plenty of them over on their website. All right, another question here. Make sure you guys keep asking those throughout the show. I will answer them. Appreciate it, as always. We got my Raiders wide receiver Myers, 4 receptions. Yeah, I like that a lot. I was actually going to have him in my rush/receiving builder. I had, but I went JSN instead. But we were going to go. I could have went with Jacoby. He's in a great matchup. AOC being back, I could see Myers having a big game. I might throw him in to be maybe have 100+ receiving yards. Maybe one of those parlays and stack them with somebody else. But I could see a big game out of here from Jacoby. I mean, you saw it last week with Garrett Wilson having a big game. Then you also had Devontae go for 200+. So huge potential here. So I'm good with Jacoby on that front. Plus, they're just not going to be able to run the ball with Madison and Abdullah. They're going to have to throw it. So, Sebastian, is it worth taking the under on the Lions game? I would probably lean that way. Second matchups always tend to more than likely tend to go under, as both the teams know each other very well. They've kind of tested each other out. The first matchup, this first matchup was on Thanksgiving, and you saw it was like 16-0 at half, and then the Bears came firing out. So I could see if you wanted to lean maybe the Lions first half again, but you also have Jared Goff on the road, and Jared Goff on the road has good at all. Without David Montgomery, you might not see extended drives, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs will be fine. I think he's the better of the 2 running backs. So you might see extended drives here, but you could fade Jared Goff and take the under here. I'd probably lean that way. But I'm built that same game parlay based off of the fact I think the Lions should get out and the Bears will have to throw the football. All right. Our second pick of the week, or our prop of the week, we are going to go. I talked about this Falcons Giants game. I've seen a ton of love for Bijan Robinson and for good measure this week. But everybody always forgets Tyler Algier. Everybody always forgets it. And we were on this, I want to say week 4 or 5 this year. And I had a couple of people backlash it because they were just like, Bijan gets tons and tons of, and I'm just like, Algier is always involved. So over 36.5 rush yards for Tyler Algier, 9.5 point favorite against this Giants team that gives up the most rushing yards in the league to running backs. So it's just a great matchup. I could see them getting up. And why would you ever put Bijan into a blowout game? Plus, you saw last week where they were trying to close out the game, and they closed out the game with Algier instead of Bijan. So they have a lot of trust. Plus, you got Kirk Cousins out. You got Penix in there. You just don't know what to expect. I would expect them to hand the ball off multiple times here to Tyler Algier and Bijan, and let them just dictate the game altogether. So let's go back to the OCR here. We got Algier pulled up. Total rushing attempts. So I mean, you're getting about 9 rushing attempts. I want to say last week he gave 12. So you've seen spikes, of 18, 12, 11, 9, and 12. But most of the time he's averaged 8.1 on the season. But his rush yards, he's gotten 105, 59, 63, and 43. He's going to be involved here, especially just the games altogether. And then you also have, 37.5 across Caesars, DK, and FanDuel. So go over and take that up, BetMGM. I'm okay with 37.5 if you don't have BetMGM. Take it at 37. All right. Kyle says, don't put the Tyler Algier vulture juju out there. For context, Kyle is in a fantasy semifinal, and he has Bijan. So he actually took him from me this year. So you're welcome, Kyle. He won't vulture a touchdown from him, I don't think. But I think both can get there today pretty easily. If you want some positive reinforcement, I have Bijan 60+ in my builder that I just put. So I think both can get there today. Okay, our last prop of the week. I actually flipped that. I wanted, oh boy, where'd my mouse go? There it is. I wanted to go with Brenton Strange of the Jaguars, but I ended up not doing that. So we were going to go. I just couldn't fathom putting money on Strange. I know he had that big pop up game, but we're gonna go to back to that Bucs game. Go with Noah Fant over half receptions, 28. And if you've seen the Seahawks team play recently, we have done a ton of. They've seen some primetime games. I know Gino hit that knee last week, screwed our parlay up. We're going back to Gino today, as he's not on the injury report. He should be all good. But this Noah Fant against this pressure funnel defense of the Vikings, you're going to see a ton of blitzes from Brian Flores today. And who has been the safety blanket all year? It's been JSN. It's been Noah Fant. And Noah Fant's hit this in 7 straight games. He is a vital part of extending drives, hitting the underneath. His ADOT's like 6.2 or around 6 or something like that. So you're going to see a ton of underneath plays. So go ahead, take Noah Fant over 2.5 receiving yard or receptions. Would have been nice to have 2.5 receiving yards, but yeah, over 2.5 receptions, minus 128 over on FanDuel. And I have it is for the OccuPop radar. So I'll show that right now. But just so you guys know, it's basically 2.5s across the board. About minus 120 to minus 130. All right. Any other questions? Let me know. We get after our anytime touchdown of the week. And we got Sebastian here. Should I take the over on Thielen, the receiving yards, to water it down to 50? Depending on what you're wanting to do, if you're going to probably pair it up with somebody else, I would do 50 plus. I don't know if Coker is in. Someone let me know in the chat if Jalen Coker is in. I know Leggett is out. Then Thielen should have a majority of targets there. His yards are just tough to come by, in my opinion. I'd like the receptions. Maybe if you went like 4+ receptions instead. But if you wanted to water it down and go 50 plus, let's go that route. All right. So plenty of great matchups to this week for touchdowns, and I'll have about 3 or 4 in the Discord. We nailed one last week, like I said earlier in the show. So looking to do that again. Know how the industry talks all week long. They have this guy. Well, I haven't heard much of this guy all week long, which is surprising to me. The Dolphins are always a great matchup against his position with the tight ends. So I'm going to go with George Kittle here. George Kittle plus 165 over on DK. Like I said, my Occupy radar is frozen for whatever reason, but he's actually as low as plus 140 and as high as plus 165. So that roller coaster odds there. I think he's plus 155 on FanDuel. But Kittle hasn't scored in 3 straight games. He is a pivotal part of the San Francisco 49ers offense. I know they're out of it, but George Kittle doesn't care if they're 17 games below 500 or 17 games up. He's going to play. And Purdy's going to have to show out again. These 49ers game, I think, is somewhat sneaky DFS-wise. I think Tua, Tyreek could be – I mean, we've been saying that forever, and Tyreek screwed us last week with that. But he's under-owned this week. And then I just think this game's kind of going under the radar because both teams just they have the firepower, they have the star power. It just hasn't gone their way this year. But I still think matchup-wise, I'm taking the tight end versus the Dolphins every single week. They haven't. I think they only scored like 3 or 4 touchdowns this year against these against the tight end position versus the Dolphins. But without Guerrero, Mason, CMC, you got, I think, Patrick Taylor. So I'm thinking in the red zone, they're going to target Kittle, Jennings, Debo a little bit more. So I think a little bump there for Kittle. And I know they're playing on the road, but it should be down in Miami. Kittle plus 165 for anytime touchdown score. All right, we got a couple more questions and we'll get up on out here. I appreciate them all. What do we got here, David? We got, should I take my Raiders for the tank L or at least the Jags for plus 3.5? I'm on the Raiders. I don't think Antonio Pierce cares too much to tank. I just don't think he does. I just think that he thinks that they have a bad team. But overall, I think AOC comes back and gets the W today. So I'm on the Raiders. So you can do what you want to do, but I'm on the Raiders here at 2.5. All right, quick recap. So like I said, I'm on the Raiders minus 2.5. We got DJ Moore 40, Keenan Allen 40 plus receiving yards over on FanDuel. We got a 7-point teaser, the Bengals, Falcons, Seahawks. We got Jaden Daniels over 7.5 rush attempts. Tyler Algier over 36.5 rush yards. Fant over 2.5 receptions. And George Kittle plus 165 to score a touchdown over on DK. He will be included in a couple of my anytimes. So, all right. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back same time next week as we get after week 17 and then looking forward to 17, 18. And then we have the playoffs coming. You're going to have milestones coming up. You're going to see the industry go towards a lot of those. So just be wary of the milestone props as the books know just as well as we do. So sometimes it ain't, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. If you're going to go 3+ touchdowns to get somebody, those 3 touchdowns sometimes aren't worth the odds that they give out. So I'll be in the Discord discussing all of that. Once they do come out, there should be several. There's always about 7 to 10 of them throughout the end of the season. So, all right, I hope we get some winners. I think we have a chance. I said this 2 weeks ago. I think we have a chance to sweep the show. We went 4-2. I like all of these positions this week, so I'm going to call it out again. Throw my hat out and basically say this could be a sweep. All right, we'll get up on out here. We appreciate you guys tuning in. See you guys next week.